we're so diverse when it comes to our project types because we really believe that being in one industry helps us learn how another industry could function.
Welcome to the Architect My Business podcast. I'm Aya Schlachter, your host, founder and CEO of MGS Global Group. We provide architectural drafting and rendering services for busy firm owners and designers. From starting out solo to now leading a team of over 45 and growing, I've learned a thing or two about making a business thrive. Whether you're thinking of starting, already managing, or want to take your business to the next level, this podcast is for you. Each episode is packed with simple, actionable tips in leadership, people, marketing, processes, and of course, profit. I keep things real. Like you, I've got no time for fluff. This podcast is brought to you by MGS Global Group. Now, let's get into this episode. Hi, everyone. Today's guest is Blima Ehrentreu, founder and CEO of the Designers Group, an award-winning interior design firm with offices in New York, Toronto, and Miami. With over 15 years of experience, Blima has led her team through more than 500 projects across residential, healthcare, hospitality, and commercial sectors. She's known for her innovative approach to design and commitment to community impact, which have earned her numerous accolades and industry awards. Blima is also a champion for women in construction industry and leads several philanthropic initiatives like the TDG Gives Back and the TDG Furniture Exchange. On top of that, Blima is in the forefront of integrating AI and smart technology into design, shaping the way her firm creates purposeful, user-centered spaces. I'm really excited to have her on the podcast and show today to talk about her leadership, innovation, and what's next for interior design. Blima, welcome to the Architect My Business podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You know, I've interviewed a lot of men in the last maybe 5 or 6 shows, and when I saw your profile, I stalked you on Instagram and LinkedIn, and I was really blown away by all the things that you're doing. So I'm gonna make sure to drop all the things in the show notes. But congrats on all your success, Blima. You've had an incredible year with a lot of major awards in 2024 and 2025, including Interior Design CEO of the Year, right?
Thank you. I always say the awards are nice, but what's my best award is helping people create the best environments and doing it with an incredible team and really making a difference in that way.
So we'll talk about your growth story because it's really phenomenal, incredible. But what do you think led you to this period of recognition? It seems like after 15 years, I think it's like you're all over the place. When I just Google your name, you're in the news, you got awards, you're in the podcast. What do you think led you to this particular moment in time?
That's a really good question. I don't know if it was one specific thing, but I believe that showing up every day and working hard and understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish and taking those steps to make it happen. So it's not that one day we woke up, and when I say we, I'm talking about myself and my team, and all of a sudden, with the snap of a finger, we're able to accomplish what we have done. It's every single day making sure that we're showing up, putting in the work, and really loving what we do and being so passionate about how we're making the world a better place. And I always say our motto as a design firm is designing with purpose, creating a better world. And that's really what it's about. So the awards are great as a testament to what we've been able to accomplish, but it's not about the actual award. It's about the work that we're doing.
So you know what they say, right? 15 years overnight success, because people see that your success overnight, right? Because, you know, now that people are seeing you, but they don't know all the steps you took to get to where you are, right? I'm sure there are a lot of challenges along the way. And I just want you to share your founder story. Like, I know you moved from Toronto to New York, right? How did that happen? And what prompted you to move from Toronto to New York? And how did you start your firm?
I started the firm back in Toronto after going to school and getting a master's in interior architecture and design. And another designer approached me about partnering with her and tackling some projects that she wanted to get into. And what began as 2 friends working together really blossomed into something that neither of us ever envisioned. And when we were looking at the next step for the designers group and how to continue our growth, New York seemed like a natural progression because there is so much design opportunity here. I'm in New York right now as I'm speaking, and there's just so much design inspiration as well. And we had clients who were starting to develop in the States. So it made sense to come here and open an office here. And that's kind of our continuous trajectory. We opened an office in Florida. I happen to live in Miami in the winters because we had clients also starting to develop. There's so much growth there, and we want to be where our clients are and be able to help them with continuing to create incredible environments for them, for their residents, for their teams, whatever spaces that we're working on, we want to be there. And now we're actually looking into opening in the West Coast because we had some opportunities there. So it's really just been about seeing where we can add value and going with it.
So now you're in Miami, you're in New York, Brooklyn, and you're also in Toronto. You have three offices,
Yes.
correct? So how do you manage all of the offices? Where do you spend your time? Do you juggle around every month? How does that work?
So I'm between the New York and Miami offices. My partner is in Toronto. She manages there. And if we do move forward with our West Coast presence, we will be acquiring a firm there.
Also, you're really growth through acquisition. I think that's really intelligent, really smart because you already have a team that know the area, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So between Toronto, New York, and Miami, those were all places that I've lived. So I was able to be there and be present. But if we do go to a place where I'm not going to be, the best way to do it is through acquisition.
So that's great. My question for you is, you're obviously extremely creative. I've seen your work. I mean, you have work from hospitality, retail, healthcare, every possible project you've done. Where do you get your business sense? Like a lot of people don't know how to run a firm, especially the creatives, but you've managed to scale and grow and thrive and expand and adapt to all the technology. So I'm curious about that.
I believe that creativity is all about growth. That's how I really look at it. So part of our creativity is being able to innovate and looking at different spaces or ideas and how can we best come up with a solution that will empower the people who are using that space using our creativity. So I use that same premise when we're looking at growth for the firm. Whereas, what is something that's needed in the industry? How can we make a difference? And using our creativity to continue that growth. And I see that's really how we've gotten involved in our philanthropic initiatives through the firm, where we saw gaps or spaces where we could make a difference and we could help. For example, our TDG Insider is a program that we have where aspiring designers can come and spend a day in our Brooklyn office. I remember when I was exploring a career in design, I had no idea what commercial interior design looked like. I was basing it off the decorator that we had when my parents built our home. And it's an entirely different animal. So just really seeing that and the experience that I went through and knowing that we now had a platform where people who were interested, whether it was a first career or a second career, and they wanted to understand before going to school, is this something that will work for me? And like, how do you know that? So that's where the TDG Insider was started. And the same with the TDG Furniture Exchange, where I was moving apartments. And because of the different apartment layout, I had furniture to give away. And I was thinking that I have so many friends, I have so many people that I know through the industry. How can we match up furniture that people have to give away with people who actually really need it? And that initiative has been amazing. We are operating in 9 locations right now, and 3 countries. So it's been amazing. I'm really rewarding knowing that we're able to see where we can add value, both when it comes to design, interiors, even branding, create to anything in the creative space, and then helping our clients in that way, as well as on the give back side, taking a career that we all love and are so passionate about and being able to use it to give back to others.
So, one thing that I really enjoyed about reading articles about you and looking at some of the content and, news about you is that you're really an activator, right? A lot of people just think about things, then they just think about it. But you've actually managed to really activate this, the furniture exchange. I mean, it sounds so easy when you say it, but the things that you have to do at the background, the tech, building the team, like creating the community, how do you have energy to do this and running the business?
When you ask me that and you say, "Oh wow, you did so many things," I think about all the things that I want to do, and I'm not even touching the surface. So that- when you ask that, I'm like, "Hey, I'm barely doing what I could be doing." But listen, it's all about having the right people, and I do believe when our intentions are good and when we want to make a difference, and like I said at the beginning, when we show up, then anything is possible.
Yeah. So I want to talk more about your philanthropic things later on in detail, but I want to really talk about, the nitty gritty, running a business and like dealing with all this hiring challenges, business development, finding clients. So what is your approach right now in terms of finding clients? What is the landscape of the interior design industry right now in 2025, in your opinion?
Our growth has been organic. We work with owners, operators, and developers. And we like to say we work on one project with them and they're always coming back with others, whether it's their own or other colleagues in the space. That's really been our growth. Now, obviously, as we look forward to 2026, we want our growth to be exponential. So we're looking into different ways of accomplishing that. But so far, what we've really been doing is just making sure that the work that we're doing is at the best quality possible. Our designs are innovative. Our team is communicative and available, and we're very results oriented, and all of that creates a really good product. And whether it's the vendors that we work with or consultants or the actual clients, they're always recommending us because we're such a pleasure to work with, if I may say so myself. But I know it's something that I really pride myself on, as well as my team, that we always say our best marketing is our work. So that's really been the way that we've been growing now. And that's how we've been targeting any new clients, is through our existing clients.
So at a given time, how many projects do you manage? What's your maximum? For
Depending
instance, now, yeah.
on, yeah, depending on different times of the year. And, we're in quite a few different industries. So sometimes we have one industry that's a little bit stronger. Sometimes different areas are stronger. We've really seen after COVID how different areas and different industries are more active than others.
So really diversification, right? Like you're in every industry. So, there's always work to come around.
So our process is the same no matter what industry we're working on, no matter what the space is. And I always like to say that when we started healthcare, for example, we were doing multifamily here in New York, and a friend of mine worked at one of the better skilled nursing operators in the country. And he asked me if I wanted to meet his bosses. He loved what we were doing and he wanted to bring me in. So I had that meeting and I showed them our design process, how we approach the interior of any building that we're working on, and the different phases that we use. We're very detail driven and very process oriented. And they loved it. And the next day they sent me facility to give a proposal for. We got the project and one after another, obviously we got experts in the space to help us and make sure that we're designing properly for the different code requirements and whatever is necessary for a senior living facility. But one thing led to another, and we designed the second largest skilled nursing facility in the country. So it's all about understanding who the client is, knowing what they're looking for, and putting the right people, the right skills in play so that we could deliver. And it's like that for every industry. And we also love the fact that we're so diverse when it comes to our project types, because we really believe that being in one industry helps us learn how another industry could function. So over COVID, we were hired to do a string of urgent cares, and we approached it from a spa perspective. Like, why, when you're getting a facial or a massage, is that a luxury experience? But when you're going to the doctor, that's this experience that's ridden with anxiety and fear. And I remember the grand opening, there was a ribbon cutting for the first urgent care. And they asked me to come and cut the ribbon with everyone else who was involved. And I heard city officials who were there, one said to another, like, hey, I feel like I'm in a spa. And I walked up to him and said, like, did someone pay you to say this? This was our intent. And that's what's so gratifying when it comes to design, because when you have a clear vision and you're able to execute, seeing that is so rewarding.
So, what is the name of the project? And can you please bring that to Cleveland?
Definitely. Well, Cleveland has amazing hospitals and
I
really good
know.
healthcare. My grandfather actually went to Cleveland Clinic. He's no longer alive, but it was the best in the country for what he needed. And I remember when my father had open heart surgery a few years ago, I was sitting in his room with him and telling him, like, we must redesign this room. Like, I gave him a job. I said, you need to find who owns this hospital, because I'm from Toronto and we're socialized medicine. So I can tell you that that room was very dreary and needed a lot of work. And I see the difference. I see the transformation when you're in a space that promotes rehabilitation, promotes positivity, recovery, social interaction. I mean, there's no price tag that you could put on that. So we want to ensure that the healthcare facilities that we're working on, not only is the care amazing, but the environment that the patients are in reflects that. So they feel like they're getting the best care. Like, my father
So,
had the best doctor, but sitting in that room, I felt like, who knows what's going to be, because the shutters wouldn't open, the bed was creaking, the colors were so dreary, the light wasn't turning on properly, it was flickering. Like, it just wasn't a positive environment to be in.
so I understand, like the Cleveland Clinic, you're absolutely right. The Cleveland Clinic downtown, the main campus, they have an amazing hospital next to the Intercontinental. And a lot of people from Dubai and Saudi Arabia, a lot of their, the multimillionaires, billionaires come here because it's set up so nicely like a hotel, right? And the food, and you can order room service. Everything is, the blinds you can operate with a remote control. So I know what you're talking about in terms of the quality of care. Not only care, but also design can really affect the mood and the family as well that are visiting, right? So what are the names of the urgent cares that you've built? Is there, can we look at it? Like, if you give us a website, we can drop it in the show notes for people curious to
Yeah, you
see.
can check out our website. It's on our
Yeah.
website under the healthcare
Okay.
tab.
Yeah. Amazing. So I know you do a lot of projects and you work with owners, operators, and developers. I noticed you didn't mention architects. Do you not work with architects, or you work with architects in the space?
Oh, we
In the
collaborate with architects
um
all the time. Every
okay.
project that we work on has an architect involved, 100%.
But they're
But
under the developers, right? Under the developers. Got it.
yes, happens to be, we do work on projects where architects bring us in, and they're
Oh,
even the
okay.
ones that are theoretically paying us. But when someone asks who's our ideal client, I'm talking about who's the one ultimately hiring us, with which the architect is also working for the owner, operator, and developer.
That's a great way to really establish your pipeline, especially when you're working with developers. You're not working with one-offs, right? Like it's kind of like a rollout, which is really great for future-proofing your business and also pipeline planning. I'm speaking of that. I mean, how do you deal with scope creep? A lot of architects complain about scope creep and clients, man, just going over. Have you ever, I mean, do you have a process for that, or how do you deal with that particular challenge?
We definitely have a process for it, but it's not foolproof. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. Listen, when it comes to construction, there's so much that comes up that's unexpected. And
Yes.
we always have to plan for that. We have to be mindful of that. We have to understand that. We have to know that. We have to communicate that with our client. But we do the best that we can. And we always say it's the challenges that inspire us and ensure that we get even more innovative, because when everything's easy, then we're not forced to think outside of the box, come up with a creative solution that can make something work. So we don't mind a challenge. We don't mind when there's extra hours that have to get put into a project, but obviously we have to be mindful of all of that because the firm has to be profitable in order for us to continue taking on new projects and make sure that our team is happy. So it's a delicate balance, I'll say.
Yeah, because people always complain like, "Hey, why are you 20% over budget?" And that's not unusual in every construction project, right? So now that I know you're in construct. I mean, you also do construction administration, right? From design all the way at the end. How do you deal with supply chain issues when during COVID, or when there were times when you couldn't get the supplies in? Yeah, how did you manage all the material delays and keeping the clients happy when there were delays?
So like I said, it's so important to communicate. That is number one. And our clients knew we were doing our best. Like, it wasn't a secret that there were major delays. So what we did was we did whatever we could, whether we had to switch the spec and come up with another product that was available and therefore alter the design slightly, or perhaps come up with a way that we can execute with leaving a part of it to be finished at a later point. We just try to do whatever we could so that the design wasn't holding up the project. Because especially when you're working with owners, operators, and developers, there are numbers that have to be met and there are targets. So when there are delays, it can really throw off the ROI on a project, which again, we have to be super mindful of because we want our clients to be profitable. We want their projects to perform better than they imagined. So we have to keep all of that in mind. And during COVID, that definitely was an issue. Now we have the tariffs. Like I say, there's always something.
Yeah.
But what we try to do is stay at the forefront of technology so that we could come up with innovative solutions, as well as knowing the market, understanding where we're going and what's happening, and planning appropriately.
If you're running a growing architecture firm, you're probably not short on projects, you're short on people. Talent shortage is real. Finding and retaining skilled professionals takes time. Meanwhile, deadlines keep getting closer. And when you're balancing growth with quality, it gets harder to maintain your project standards as the work piles up. We are here to bridge the gap. We provide qualified architecture staff on demand so you can scale your delivery without compromising quality. That's what MGS Global Group does. Whether you're overwhelmed with construction documentation, need BIM support, or your internal systems just aren't built for this level of growth, our team plugs in seamlessly. Think of us as an extension of your in-house team without the long hiring process. And because we work across time zones, your projects keep moving even after your office closes for the day. If your timelines are starting to feel stretched and your team's at capacity, visit mgsglobalgroup.com. We can get started in 24 hours. We're here to help you scale smarter and deliver faster with quality, consistency, and peace of mind. So you work at such a high level. And I know you have a huge team. I don't know, 40, I think. How many people do you have? And you have a lot
Yeah,
of people
almost
in your.
40. We're not at 40 right now. We've been at 40, but
So how do you translate I mean, how do you delegate to the team members? How do you know when they're ready to take on a project? What is that process like? Because a lot of firm owners really have a hard time delegating. And I think delegating is really the success to growth, or else you'll be doing everything yourself, right?
100%. And I always tell our lead designers that I explain to them how sometimes we want to just do something ourselves. It's so much faster, so much easier, and usually about half the time. But then, how are we going to scale? How are we going to grow? So, part of that growth is being able to delegate and understanding that it might take faster for you that first time and that second time, but as you continue to guide your team, they'll understand and sometimes even outperform you, which is great. I love seeing when my team takes some of the skills that I've trained them to learn and them able to take it even further than I ever could have. And it's also understanding what you're good at and what someone else might be better at. Like all like at this point, I like to concentrate on the parts of our growth and our creative direction and business development that I enjoy. I also have to ensure that the other details are getting taken care of, but I want to put my energy into spaces and places that I can do the best. And that's also part of training a team is understanding people's strengths and knowing who to put where. And sometimes we hire someone for one position, but once we see that, we know that maybe that wasn't the best use of their skill set. And maybe we can pivot and put them in another position within the creative space, but just ensuring that we're maximizing their productivity because if an employee is not happy, then they're not performing at their best. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so into a good office culture. Anytime we hire someone new, we have them come in. If they're working in the office, we do have some people who work remotely, but we're a hybrid culture. But the people who are working in the office need to come in and have a trial in the office because I want to ensure that the team that they're working with is happy with them. And as well, they're happy working with that team. So it's so important that everyone collaborates. We're a creative team. And with creativity, I always say 1 plus 1 is exponentially greater than 2. So everyone has to work together. And one of the things that we have is a TDG Star of the Week. We are every 2 weeks, everyone on the team nominates someone for something nice that they did. And it's not design oriented per se, it's more about their character. And they sent it to me anonymously. We do this on our TDG Talks, which is our team meetings. And I read out all the nominations. And it's so nice to hear just something positive that someone did. And whoever wins gets an Amazon gift card. So it's just something nice that we implemented. And it's all about promoting positivity, collaboration, and a good team culture.
That's amazing. So I agree. I also have a quite a big team in the Philippines. I have an outsourcing company. We do architecture support, and I used to do all the drafting myself. I burnt out, and I'm like, this is not sustainable. Like, I can't do all the drafting. So it was hard to really transfer the knowledge to the team, but I'm glad I did because right now my job is podcasting and business development. So my question for you, Blima, is how much time do you spend as a CEO in business development, creative directing, site management? What does your CEO life look like in terms of time management in percentages?
When it comes to our design process, we're very structured. Everything is clear. We know exactly how it's going to work. When it comes to my responsibilities and the way my days go, it couldn't be less structured. There is always something else. And I just like to be wherever I'm needed the most. So whether it's a project that the design is kind of not going where it needs to be, or there are accounting issues that need to be worked out, or we want to figure out how we're going to grow or hit certain goals by certain points. So I'm really all over the place, and one day never looks the same as another. I love meeting new people. I love mentoring. So that's part of the business development that I'm a part of. I love learning. So there's different skills that I'm trying to learn and different technology that we want to incorporate and implement. So learning about that as well and making sure that the team is happy. So there's just so many different areas that I'm involved in, but there's no specific amounts of time that I can tell you, like 25, 35, 45.
Right.
It really depends on the week, on the month, and even the year.
Yeah, I hear you. So I see that in I saw your social media channel, by the way. Your Instagram is amazing. You have over like 19,000 followers. And I love the way you create content because it's so relevant. It's so now. Your team looks like it's so much fun to work there. And one of the things a lot of firm owners don't do is show and highlight the behind the scenes, right? Is that part of your hiring strategy as well? When people, I'm sure you need to bring people in, right, to work for you. A lot of architecture firms show their work. Yes, it's amazing, but the strategy of hiring is really important because you can't produce without good quality employees. And I see that in your Instagram that your team has just amazing time at the site, at the office. So, um, yeah, talk about your hiring process and how does that work?
Our hiring process is really based on skill set. And I would say, though, that a lot of the people that we do have now were brought in by someone else on the team. And I always love that because I find that so important. If the people on our team are happy and they want their friends or people that they know to come and join us, like that talks to who we are as a brand. And that's really important that everyone is happy. And for me, I'm happy when they're happy. And I hope they know, I think they do because I've never in all this time that I've been working ever said no to someone taking a vacation or taking off dates because I believe that we need to have a personal life and so that we can shine in our work life. But again, obviously, we can't take advantage of these things. So it's really important that the people that we hire are on board with who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. And that's communicated very early on. And so far, we've been really lucky. We have an incredible team. Again, there definitely have been people who haven't been the right fit over the years, but we're in a really good place right now with an amazing team and we all love what we're doing and everyone cares about each other and is there for each other and collaborates so well together.
So that is a testimonial to your leadership, Blima, because um, people stay, people want to come in, people bring in your potential employees because they like working for you and the culture. So congratulations. It's really not easy to run a company, especially if you have a big team and there's a lot of drama. But the fact that you don't even need to recruit. They're just coming into your door. That's really amazing because the hindrance to growth is not really getting projects, but project delivery, right? You can get as many projects as you can, but if you don't have the staff to do it, then you're still not able to grow.
For sure. It's definitely both, I would say. You need those projects, but you also need that team to deliver.
Yeah. It's the TDG gives back what is that when you have the students come in?
TDG
What initiative?
Insider.
Yeah, TDG Insider. Are you able to also get employees there? Like when they come in and you like them, do they eventually become part of your team in the long run? And.
So interesting that you asked that because that was never our intention when we started the program. But actually, we have hired TDG Insiders, one guy who came, our hiring manager told me, like, I think he's really great. Can we give him a chance? And he came, he worked for us for a year and then got a full scholarship at Yale. So
Whoa.
it was great because it wasn't necessarily me because I'm not in touch day to day with, what he was busy working on. But the fact that my team and I were able to empower someone to get that experience and be able to pursue his dreams was exactly why we started the program. And it's been amazing. We had someone else who came and she asked for help applying to design school, and my team was able to help her. And then once she finished school, she came and worked for us for a couple of years. And, that was also great. So we're so happy to be able to empower the next generation of designers. And it's also nice for our team to be involved in it. Like the guy who runs the TDG Insider, he's been amazing empowering anyone who walks through the door, answering all their questions. And they also have the chance to engage with any of our designers and be mentored by them if they would like.
So the people coming in the insider, are they like high school thinking if they wanna, like, are they seniors thinking if they wanna go to interior design school, or
Not
college
necessarily.
grads? Yeah.
We've definitely had a few, but it could be people who have already gotten their bachelor's and are now exploring what they want to do. We've had people coming in for a second career. We've had people who never really were passionate about what they were doing. They just had a job and now are thinking of going to school. So it's been quite a range.
I don't know. It's amazing that you have that initiative considering you have a lot of work, projects, and you still bring people in. I mean, that's really commendable. A lot of people, firm owners, can't even manage their own work, let alone having all these initiatives, right? So I think every architect should hear this podcast. Anyway, another question that I have is, um, you speak a lot in conferences, right? Like, how do you know which conference to speak at, and what are your signatures topics?
It's usually design related. Sometimes it will be women in the construction industry. I'm all about advancing women and allowing us or them to shine. I think it's so important that people are able to follow their dreams and not let anything stand in their way. I do believe that if you do good work and you have a good product, your gender really doesn't matter. I always say with our team is super diverse, and people always ask me, like, do you have a DEI department? Like, how are you reaching your goals? And for us, it's not about that. You have a talent, you're amazing, we want you to work with us. And because of that, our team is so diverse. And we have people from so many different countries, from different cultures, different religions. And I believe that that all helps our designs be so inclusive for everyone because we all have different experiences. We all grew up differently. We all look at things differently. So, us joining together to come up with ideas and solutions with that diversity ensures that our designs are very inclusive and could appeal to anyone.
Yeah, you have a very young team, and it's nice to be where it looks like you have a young team, or they look very youthful. I'm sure it's very
Young
energizing
energy.
too. Yes, young energy. I like that. Let's talk about technology and AI. You've been pretty vocal about AI in design, which I love. Any particular way you're using AI in TDG right now that's helping you with the processes or efficiencies? Any tools or strategies you can share?
I would say at this point, we've integrated AI into almost everything we do, but there isn't that one program just yet that encapsulates it all. It's about knowing what's out there and being able to leverage it in whatever way we can. I've had many meetings with different drafting softwares that are incorporating it and different rendering softwares and the sky is the limit when it comes to AI and where we can go with it. But right now, we don't have that one program just yet, but we're incorporating whatever we can because we want to work more quickly, we want to work more efficiently, but we also want to make sure that our designs are top quality. And having AI help us in that way has been allowing us to exponentially speed up our processes.
That's amazing. So, do you also use AI? I know you use AI tools, but has AI kind of shifted the way you do business or not at all?
Definitely, for sure, in every way. Even I had a meeting with our bookkeeper the other day, and I was explaining to him, like, we need to be using AI for our projections and all of that. And I mean, everywhere and everything has space for us to get even better. And with AI, it just can happen that much faster. And we're actually writing an AI course now for designers because we've been leveraging AI into our processes. And I've spoken on different panels, at different events, and people always ask me, like, what does your firm use? Kind of like what you just did. And I realized that there's so many designers out there that are busy designing, so they don't have the time to investigate or learn about what's out there. And we've already done that. And we'd love to help empower those designers so that they can use what's out there. And we're working on the course. We hope to have it out before the end of 2025.
So, is this one of the projects that you also are working on? One of the other 10 projects?
Something like that.
So, when you're ready to launch, let me know. I would love to have you at the AI for Architects podcast. We can, do something and to promote the course because that point of the other podcast is really to empower firm owners and how to, make AI accessible to all,
Oh,
right?
definitely. I would love that.
Yeah. Let's talk about smart buildings. You talk about your smart building that you're trying to integrate that into your design process. Can you, maybe elaborate a little bit more?
So, when it comes to design, it's not just about how the space looks, it's also about how it functions. And we believe that technology can really ensure that a space is optimizing their efficiency and sustainability and so much more than that, just the overall performance. So, we've teamed up with an engineering team that can really look at a space and come up with the best ways for it to be smart. And there's so many ways of doing that, whether it's different types of sensors and different cost saving, energy efficiency programs, as well as really understanding the technologies out there and how we can leverage it. So I don't even think that I have that knowledge. And that's why we're teaming up with this group that's all they do. And for our clients who understand the value, it's a game changer.
That's good that you're really trying to accommodate like all of your clients' needs, whether it's in technology, AI, experience, spa, hospitality, because essentially that's part of being human, right? Only humans can experience spaces, and AI cannot do that. So that's amazing. Um, can we talk a little bit more about the furniture exchange? I'm very curious about that. How does that work? What does the interface look like? Who uses it? How can if other cities want to be part of the TDG exchange, what do they have to do?
We started out more community driven. We were working with WhatsApp chats, and basically we would just post available furniture. But we graduated to a website version where if people have furniture that they want to give away, all with just a couple of clicks, they can upload it. And we have people in those areas who need the furniture, and they're going on the site every day, checking what's available. So because we work with donations, it's all about the type of furniture that we have at that point. But we've gotten some amazing opportunities to help people out, and it's been so rewarding. And what I would say, what was interesting for me was building that website because we had to build it in a way like eBay, where you take a picture and you can upload it right away and it's live, and then someone can request it. So that was a little complicated because we couldn't just use a typical website. Um, that took a little bit of time, but now that we have it up and running, the process is so seamless. And we actually have a location in Cleveland because my sister lives there, like I told you earlier, and she runs that location. But it's all about helping people out and repurposing one person's garbage. But it's not, but just something that they no longer need and want to get rid of, and can be that life-saving piece for someone else. So we've been able to help people who are sick, people who are impaired. We have helped schools, like we design schools. So we've had schools who have furniture to give away. We were able to give them to others. We had offices, floors of offices that had furniture. And yeah, it's been amazing.
So your location in Cleveland, is it a physical location, like people drop off stuff there?
No,
Or it's just
not
a
this
website?
is yes, this is just a platform to match people who have furniture to give away with people who need it. We looked into storage, but that's a whole nother business, and
Yeah.
we weren't set up for it. Like, we did have a hotel reach out to us more than once, and one had 250 rooms to offload, and another one was
Oh my God.
150 rooms, but we weren't set up because all the furniture needed to be out that day or at a certain day, and we didn't have the storage and all of that. But we're really looking to grow and expand. So if any of your listeners have ideas and want to help us out, it is a nonprofit. It is all charitable, so you can get a tax receipt, and we're really just looking to help people repurpose
Blima,
their furniture.
for some reason, I can imagine you next year with a warehousing business, right? That would not be unusual with all the hotel stuff. Um, so that's amazing. So if I have old furniture, I can post photos and people can just pick it up at my house, like kind of thing. Is it similar to Facebook Marketplace, but it's free? Is it that setup?
So I've never actually gone on Facebook Marketplace, but it would seem to me like it's pretty similar. What happens
Yeah,
is if someone requests the furniture, then the person who's offering it could press accept to give out their information. We wanted to keep it a little bit more confidential in a sense, where people's numbers weren't just getting posted. So that
yeah.
was like the only difference. Some people had furniture that they wanted to give away, but they didn't want all their information out there.
Okay. So what is the website called? I wanna put it in our show notes for that particular initiative.
TDG Furniture
Yeah.
Exchange.com.
Okay. Okay. Guys, if you have amazing furniture, just, share it. I know in the US there's a lot of wastage. People move a lot and buy a lot. That's why it's good that we can upcycle, and, it's also good for the environment, right?
And furniture is so expensive. And it's
Yeah.
even hard to get rid of. Like, just there are certain days that you can put bigger pieces and sometimes not at all. So it's a win-win for both sides.
Yes, absolutely. So now that we're wrapping up, I just wanted to ask you, if you were talking to someone thinking about starting their own practice today, what would you tell them about the reality of running a firm in this market?
I would say don't give up. If you're really passionate about it and you know what's driving you, then the sky is the limit. And there are so many opportunities, and it's such an incredible ride. But you have to be really passionate about it and really want it, because there definitely are challenges that come up. But like I said, challenges are what continue to inspire us and help us grow. So it's all part of the creative journey.
What is one thing about running a design business that you wish more people understood?
I would probably say that it looks super glamorous in terms of the design, but it's the technical details that make the design glamorous. So if you don't have a handle on that and you don't understand that, then the design will be missing. So it's so important to have the foundation, to have the knowledge. to have the skills so that it can be glamorous.
So, Blima, this has been amazing. One more question, I promise. What do you do for fun? Hobbies?
I love to travel. I get so inspired from seeing how different countries operate, how different people live, how different lifestyles work. I love to be active. I like to work every morning. I swim. I recently got into pickleball.
Oh my
I my
God.
best my best days are when I'm active. And I love staying stimulated. I love learning. I love growing. I love being able to meet new people and just have a good time.
As a designer, I travel quite a bit, right? But as a designer, what are your favorite hotels to stay at in like the United States?
So I wouldn't say that there's one hotel specifically that jumps out, but I'm all about service. When I'm traveling, when I'm staying in a hotel, I want to have that service. And also at this point, obviously, I'm not going to stay in a hotel that's under 5 stars just because then my bed is more comfortable at home. And why am I traveling? So I was talking to some friends the other day and I said, "Did I become more high maintenance recently?" But I haven't. It's just the more you understand design and the more you're in that world, then if you're traveling, want those experiences to inspire you.
It's quality of life. You're saving your energy. Like you're traveling, you work a lot. Why should you stay in a 2 star when you can stay in a 5 star? Right? Like I agree. Um, so thanks for sharing that. I don't think it's high maintenance. It's just protecting your energy and why not, right? You work hard, you deserve it.
Exactly. And I appreciate it. Like for me, the environment that I'm in makes such a difference. Like I see the impact of the spaces that people are in and how it transforms that. But I also see it in myself. If I'm in a beautiful space, good energy, there's nothing like it. And that's why I choose to stay in a hotel for that.
So I had a client, I had a guest recently. He said, I only deal with rich people. I solve rich people's problems, which is, not it's good. But he said, when I in his office, he always has the best coffee machine, the best coffee beans. He doesn't have IKEA furniture because when you're working with clients at that level, you also need to match their standards. You can't work with a multi-million-dollar project and serve like Dunkin' Donuts coffee or whatever in the office, right? Not that there's anything wrong with Dunkin' Donuts. I drink that too, but I'm saying your energy, your you need to match your client's energy, and that's what you're doing. You work with 5 star hotels, and that's the standard that you're used to in a way, right?
Yeah, I did forget that I do travel a lot for conferences and I like to stay clear of the conferences. So it's not like I won't stay in anything less, but you said, what is your favorite? And what are
Yes,
you looking
absolutely.
for? So,
Yes.
yes, when I'm traveling for my own travels, that is definitely what I look for. But I also do look for experiences. That's also a big
Yes.
one. And I do believe that's so much about what design is experiences, engaging all 5 senses and the way a space makes us feel.
Amazing. So what's next for you, Blima? What is the next exciting project you're working on? It can be a nonprofit, a new business, travel plans. What are you looking forward to in the next 6 months?
So there's so many goals that we have before we close out 2025. So keeping my fingers crossed, hoping we get them all done. But I will say for me, the projects that excite me the most and what really drives me are the ones where we make a difference, our impact projects. And we have a few of them that we're busy with right now. There's a special needs sector we're working on in Brooklyn. All of our healthcare and senior living properties are something that really speaks to me because I know that we're making people's experiences better. And especially when it's people that are in vulnerable positions, I just feel like we have those opportunities to make them better. And I'm very grateful for that. And I appreciate that our clients have given us those opportunities, because I know that we're really making a difference. And then in our multifamily and our office spaces, we're also making those differences. So we look at every project as a way to make the world better. And that's really what gets me up every morning, and what I keep looking forward to, is just keep making the world better. And whether it's through our nonprofits, whether it's through our designs, whether it's through empowering people, that's what I'm here for. And that's what I'm really looking forward to continue doing.
Thank you so much, Blima. Congratulations on all the things. And I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you. Same here. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person very soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Architect My Business podcast. If you want more, head over to architectmybusiness.com for more episodes, show notes, and links to everything mentioned in this episode. Don't forget to catch our mini shows, First Pace, Ask Aya, and our main show, Architect My Business. If you enjoyed our episodes and want to hear more, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your feedback really helps us grow. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye!